special intensity, a special urgency. Here come the Volunteers. Wherever you listen throughout the world, it's football time in Tennessee.
What's up, ball fans? What's up, ETSU fans? Glad to see you here. Bringing you another live episode from Salina, Kansas. We got it in here. I hope my audio's working. I tell you what, I've been having a lot of problems with my live streams lately, and I appreciate y'all hanging with me though. We're going to make this a short show. A lot of you guys thought I jinxed the team by firing up the victory cigar a little bit early, but we took care of business. I didn't have any doubts. 59-3. I'm gonna go over the player stats here. Jarrett Garantano was pretty good today, but I tell you what, Banks, he had a couple of touchdowns. London had a pretty good day with 44 yards and 2 touchdowns. Palmer had a rushing touchdown. I don't think Chandler made it into the game. I was listening to it on the radio. But we're going to get into some of the other games. I'm looking at my Bleacher Report right now, and some of y'all can comment. Georgia took care of business, 41-17. I knew that was happening. And I believe everybody deep down knew that was happening. Couch coach was a little bit worried about covering the spread. I think it was a 10-point spread. But I told him on the phone, I said, I don't think there's anything to worry about. Not a thing. Georgia's just too good all the way around. But anyway, we're going to get into this live stream that's brought to you by Woodard Whitetails in Glasgow, Kentucky. Man, they've got some monster bucks sponsoring the show. You can give them a call at 270-925-7074. Tell them Catfish sent you. They handle all kinds of corporate events, private hunts, and they've got some monster bucks. And I've said on here a couple of times, one of these days I'm going to sneak onto their place and get me one of them bucks and see if they can catch me. But anyway, while we're waiting for some of you guys to come in here, we've got 10 or 12 onions. I can't run my truck while I'm doing this live stream because it just gets too loud, and so I'm going to make it short. Besides, I have a lot of trucking to do, but the phone lines are open. You can catch the phone number on the screen there, and I'll be watching out for that. But other games that are on this weekend, we've got Clemson. Does anybody know any scores right now? Looks like it's 9 minutes left in the first quarter. It's 0-0 with Kentucky and Florida. Florida ought to be able to win that pretty handedly. Alabama crushed Arkansas State. Everybody saw that coming. If I can also get some ones on how the audio is, I'd appreciate it, because my technical issues keep cropping up. Oh, Clemson's beating Texas A&M 14-3. I really thought that was going to happen too. Of course, it's just into the looks like the start of the second quarter. I'm going through here to see if there's any other games. Mississippi State beat Kansas State 31-10, and Oklahoma beat UCLA 49-21. I guess Chip Kelly couldn't quite get it done there. Virginia Tech won 62-17, and I see Ryan Schrick's upset. I don't know what you're upset about, but you're more than welcome to call the show and tell me about it, Ryan. I know it's 0-0. I don't know what you expect, Ryan. I mean, Kentucky is not that much worse than you guys. It's 0-0. It's in the swamp. Florida ought to win that game. I'd be surprised if Kentucky beat you guys down there in the swamp, but who knows? This is college football, and I say if Kentucky doesn't make it to a bowl game this year, I think they're going to cut old Stoops loose. I don't know what you guys think. I'm going to try to keep my eye out in the comments section. I see we got XSS Glover's in the house. Rustin Ralston's in the house. Ryan Strick's in here. Michael Horton, thanks for the sound check. I don't know what's wrong. I think what's wrong with my old mic, some of y'all guys remember my old mic from last year. I think my cord is bad. That's why I quit using it last year. The audio was bad. So I'm going to have to buy me a new cord. But meantime, we're going to go with what we got. I'm going to open up about 5 lines for you guys to call. The number is 855-489-7623. While we're waiting on a call to come in, I'm going to kind of go over the stats, and I listen to it on the radio. A lot of you guys know I don't watch much on TV, but we're going to go over the stats here for Tennessee. Garantano was 8 for 13, 154 yards, 11.8 yards a pass. Chris looks like he came in the game. He was 3 for 3 for 70 yards, but he did throw that touchdown. What's up, John Neal? The running backs, Jordan, 15 carries for 65 yards, no touchdowns, but Banks, he was running tough. 13 carries, 62 yards, and 2 touchdowns. London had 8 carries, 47 yards, 2 touchdowns. Palmer had a rush for 20 yards for a touchdown. Callaway, 78 yards. Murphy had 75 yards with a touchdown. But all in all, I think we played a lot better. Of course, the competition with East Tennessee State wasn't there, so there's still a lot to that you really, a lot of unknowns, because you really don't know what you're up against. You really don't know what kind of team West Virginia is. I think they're a great team. I'm not saying that because they beat the tar out of us, but I think that Will Greer's a great quarterback, and a lot of people have him as one of the Heisman hopefuls. I don't know who they're playing today. What's up, Christian from Alabama? Glad you're in here. Blackhawk Central's in here. Yeah, Blackhawk Central, Georgia exposes USC junior Debo who. I knew that was going to happen. I don't know why some of you Georgia fans was worried about this game. I just think that Georgia was too tough all the way around. Defense, you've got a second-year starter in Fromm. You've got a stable of running backs. And I saw where Couch Coach posted on Facebook early in the game. He's pretty upset. I think they were up 17-10 or whatever it was. And I knew Georgia was going to pull away with it. They're just too tough. Michael Horton says LSU 17, Southeast Louisiana High School 0. All right, Ryan, we'll see you later. You predicted it would be 41-17 Blackhawks. Well, that's pretty good. That's what it turned out to be. I knew they were going to win. Anybody know what's going on with the Clemson game? It was, 14-3 a minute ago. I'm trying to keep updated. It looks like it's still 14-3. Second quarter, about 12 minutes left. Clemson's going to run away with that. Clemson, in my opinion, has the best defense. At least the defensive line's got to be the best in the country. They're no joke. I've got them penciled into the playoffs, not just because they're in the weak ACC. Is that they're a great team. They've got great receivers. They've got great running backs. They're just about as close to being an SEC team as any other team outside the conference, and they're better than most of the SEC teams, and they're probably right on par, just under Alabama, I would say. Of course, this is all early in the season. A lot can happen. I don't know. Does anybody know who's playing in the who's playing quarterback? Somebody said earlier that they may play Trevor Lawrence a little bit in this game if they can get it out of reach there. It's still 17-0 LSU. Let's see. has Auburn started yet? Anybody know? I'm trying to watch the comment section. Doesn't look like there's been comments coming in. I don't think there's any other games outside the conference that I was interested in. Oh yeah, there is. Oklahoma, UCLA. I actually thought UCLA was going to give Oklahoma a run for their money with their new coach and high-powered offense that they had, but it really wasn't close. Of course, I didn't listen to it. A lot of times these final scores aren't indicative of what happened during the game, but Oklahoma handled business 49-21. Virginia Tech might be a team to be reckoned with. They're probably the second best team in the ACC, even ahead of Miami. I don't know what's going on with Miami. Who does Miami play today? I'm looking through my thing here on Bleacher Report, and I don't see their name coming up. But back to the Tennessee game, I want to know what y'all thought about it. I was real pleased. It was more of a scrimmage than anything, but that Banks kid, we've got some running backs. I don't care what anybody says. There's a lot of people doubting us, Tennessee, bashing us a little bit, that we're not a team to be reckoned with. That may be true, but this game I was pretty pleased. I was pretty pleased with our defense. I didn't listen to the entire game. I was getting ready for the show. I see Krista's in here from West Virginia. If you're a West Virginia fan, tell me who y'all are playing and what time the game comes on, or how y'all did, because West Virginia's got a ball club. Like I said, their receiver crew, they've got a couple receivers that are going to be playing on Sundays. That's a fact. That Seals kid, he's first round material. Everything I've been reading on him is he's definitely first round material. Gunner says our offensive line has a long way to go. I agree with that. That's probably my biggest concern. They said in the pregame show that they've practiced with 20 different groupings on offensive line. That's a little bit concerning, but at least they're trying. They're putting some things up there. And if anybody wants to call, the number's on the screen. I'd love to be able to talk to you. I'm not going to be on a lot today. If I don't get any calls here in a little bit, I'll probably get going. I'm headed out to Seattle, Washington, and got a lot of trucking to do. I'm in Salina, Kansas at the Pilot truck stop here, trying to do a little bit of a live show. I guess one of the things that I'm interested in seeing besides the offensive line is Kongbo. I want Kongbo to step up, by God. He's been here, he's going to be good. It's been the saying that we've said about Kongbo the last 2 seasons, and he has not impressed me. Does anybody know? I'm going to look at the stats and see if he had any tackles, because he hadn't been playing very well, and if he didn't get any tackles against ETSU, then we've got some problems. Let me see here. Tennessee defensive stats. Don't even look like he's registered. That's just unbelievable. I did hear Patuli's name a few times. Our leading tackler was Gooden. Kirkland played a decent game. Abernathy wasn't too bad. We're really weak. Nigel Warrior, let's see what his stats were. He had 4 tackles. We have 1 defensive touchdown with Kirkland. But we're really young in the defensive secondary. I didn't realize this, but right before the West Virginia game, they said we were starting 3 freshmen in the defensive backfield. That's not going to cut it in the SEC. I see Krista says they're playing Youngstown State. That's a high school team, 27-7. Well, it sounds like they're playing better than we played you. But good luck on the game there, Krista. Y'all really don't have much of a schedule until towards the end. The last game of the season against Oklahoma, that's going to be a ball game, and both of both those teams could be coming in undefeated in that game, and that could be in effect the Big 12 championship there in the regular season. So that's going to be a great game. How about them Dogs? J.K. said, yeah, they took care of business. I called that early on. And Ryan Schrick is crying about his defense being so injured. Let me read this. Best middle linebacker, best pass rusher, and now one of my best cornerbacks are injured. It's still early, like you said. I'm going to try to read some of these comments. Fun fact from Michael Horton, UGA average weight for starting O-line is 329 pounds, our largest in history. Hey, let me tell you something. Georgia is going to be the next Alabama. Saban's not going to be coaching forever, and even with Saban there, Georgia has been getting some 5 stars. Their 2019 class is already one of the best in the country. I don't know what they're ranked, but every time I turn around, Uncle Lou is having some commitment ceremony live on YouTube where somebody's picking Georgia, some 5 stars somewhere. But if I was saying Ohio State or a Clemson or whoever you have in the playoffs, I believe I'd be a little more worried about Georgia than I would Alabama. I know I have a lot of Alabama fans that watch me, but that's just the way it is. And I believe you Alabama fans, deep down, you know it's true. And I heard today that both Hurts and Tua both threw some touchdown passes. I'm sure Hurts came in mop-up duty. I still think it's going to be Tua's team. Rustin says, I would call, but I'm sick and can't talk, but ETSU is probably a cupcake. Yeah, there were a cupcake, and I see Squid Tard's in here. I don't know why Squid Tard hadn't called in, but he is pretty upset. He called me last week, and Squid Tard, we're going to get better. Don't give up on our Vols yet. Don't give up on Jeremy Pruitt. And there's been reports, and I want to see somebody in the comments section tell me if they can authenticate this rumor. Somebody called into my show last week and said he was on some Tennessee message boards and said there were some Tennessee fans after the West Virginia game calling for Jeremy Pruitt to be fired. I don't know if anybody has seen that. I've heard it a couple of other places. I just can't believe that. We're playing a Heisman contender and a great West Virginia team, and you're calling for him to be fired. We're not going to have a repeat of last season. Last season, you know, Butch Jones just lost a team. He lost the fans, and it was just inevitable. I'm really never for firing a coach halfway through a season, but it just got to a point last year where the noise was just too much coming out of Knoxville. He was really just a sitting duck, and I favored firing him midway through the season, about halfway through, because we needed to have time with the new recruiting rule, with the dead period they had, and they had some new recruiting rules took into effect that we needed to get a coach early. And a lot of people have said they changed that rule because they didn't want a lot of teams fired their coach midway through the season. So I don't know what to believe about that, but they need to be. This is firing Jeremy Pruitt is nonsense. I just can't believe people are even saying that. I'm going to catch up on some of my comments. J. Key says, prepare to lick our boots. Well, I tell you what, I'm never going to accept defeat before a ball game even starts. Ever in my life. But I tell you what, I'm going to talk trash. I don't care if you're Alabama, Georgia, Clemson, Ohio State. I'm going to chirp before the game. But I tell you what, one thing that I'm known for is if we lose, I'll come on here and I can eat crow better than anybody on YouTube. I'll show respect and I'll keep it classy. but I'm not gonna give up before the ball game even starts. So let's see here. I'm gonna go through some of the comments before I get out of here. It looks like we've got 20 some odd people in here. Phone number is on the screen, 855-489-7623. I've got 3 or 4 open lines if anybody wants to give a ring. Let's see here. How about them dogs? Tim Forston, that's Perfection Valley for a lot of you guys that don't know. Hey, I told y'all last week that this South Carolina might be Georgia. That was crazy. I knew Georgia was going to win big. It started out kind of sluggish, but they're just too good all the way around. Ryan Schrick says he's happy with Tennessee. First win in 10 months. That's all right. I got the subtle dig you gave us there. But it ain't going to be our last win this year. I appreciate the congrats there, Tim. Anybody can check out my social media. All that's in the description. I've got a volunteer roadshow page, and I'm going to try to do a couple of live shows on that this season. But I've also got my personal page down there where you can send me a friend's request, and I'll be sure to friend you right back. Space Mountain says the Vols are going to destroy Florida. I don't know about that. Yeah, I think you're right. Right to Vape. I thought we showed some real fluidity on defense, he says. I'm just listening to it. I don't get to watch it. Clan Robertson says, congratulations, Catfish. Good game to sharpen our skills. I agree with you. Natty Back Steve says, I was at the game and got really good footage and audio from the pregame show. I'll check that out. Where can we check that out, Natty Back Steve? Put in the comment section where I can find it. I'd love to be able to see that. Michael Horton says Justin Fields played a fair amount versus South Carolina, just handed the ball off. I hope that the worst thing that can happen to Georgia is there's going to be a quarterback controversy. I think Georgia fans need to get it through their head that this is Fromm's team this year. I wouldn't pull the trigger on Fromm and put Fields in there too soon. I would ride Fromm out all the way to the end of the season. He showed a lot of maturation at the end of the season, especially in the playoffs. So Georgia fans, I know y'all are excited to see Justin Fields, and I did a reaction video y'all can check out. It's in my playlist under reaction videos. He's the truth. He's probably going to be your starter next year, but this season you need to ride with Fromm. Ride him all the way to the end. I've got Georgia winning the SEC. I've got them in the playoffs against Clemson, possibly Ohio State, and Oklahoma is what it looks like. The gut feeling is who's going to be in the playoffs. But right now, Clemson is showing me a lot. I think they're a great team. They're a great team. Their defensive line is no joke. Probably the best in the entire country. I know there's going to be some SEC fans that's going to bristle at that statement, but y'all need to watch them. I've watched some highlights of their last game. I know it was a high school team, but they've got a great defense, and they've got a quarterback battle that's going on with 2 great quarterbacks. It's one thing to have a quarterback battle that's with your starter, and your starter's not playing well, so your backup's competing for the job. But Trevor Lawrence and Kelly Bryant, they're 2 great quarterbacks. I think it's going to eventually be Trevor Lawrence's team. I think with Alabama's quarterback situation, it's Tua's team, and I think this year it needs to be for Georgia. It needs to be Fromm. So Gator fans, y'all need to settle down with the Justin Fields stuff, and you'll see him in some packages. I'm going to catch up on my comments here. I don't know how far back I need to go, but let's see. Oh, anybody know where we are on the Clemson Texas A&M game? Ryan Strick says we are about to be tied. What's the score? Let me look on my Bleacher Report. It was 7-0. Kentucky over Florida. Is Florida fixing to score? I'm surprised by that. I thought Florida had a better defense. Of course, Ryan said he's got 2 or 3 of their big players down. I don't know how much of that is factoring into this game. But if you're just now tuning in, my Vols beat the East Tennessee State University Buccaneers 59-3. We got us a great win. Rusty says it's still 14-3 Clemson. Billy Cole's in the house. Gunner's in the house. Gunner wants to know if I'm a Titans fan. Let me tell you about my NFL allegiance. We're going to be going on a fishing trip here the Friday before the Florida game. I believe that's September 21st. I'm selling tickets. Anybody hadn't bought tickets, they're $5 a piece with a 2-ticket minimum. You can watch my introductory video. It'll be the top video on my channel where I interview Captain Scott Manning with the Tennessee River Monsters. We've got Neil Clabo. He punted in Super Bowl 11 with the Minnesota Vikings. He went to Farragut High School, where all my family went to Farragut there in West Knoxville. And I became a Vikings fan early on in life when in the early 70s. But the Titans almost had me, Gunner. I don't know if you remember this. I believe it was in '98 or so. They were still, I believe they were the Tennessee Oilers, and they were coming up with a new name, and they were trotting out some different possibilities and logos out there. And one of the choices was the Copperheads. I don't know why I wanted the Tennessee Copperheads. I thought that was cool. They had a great logo with the copper colored and the blue that went in. I thought it was awesome. And then when they picked the Titans, I said, well, I don't know. I was pretty upset with them. But I follow the Titans. I'm not a big NFL guy. I've always been one that has been a Vikings fan. I do not love the Vikings like I do my Vols. There's just something special about college football that's just all the pageantry and the loyalty goes much deeper with my college team. But I've always followed Tennessee players, and some of you Georgia fans, Alabama fans know what I'm talking about. When you see one of your players in the NFL busting them up and you find yourself rooting for the team that has your boys on it. So that's kind of how I treated the NFL. Looks like we have a caller on. Let me see if I can get him on here and see what he's got to say. I don't know if my audio is going to work, but
yes. Hello, sir. I'm on the air.
Yes. What you got for Catfish?
Yeah. Hello. Is this Volunteer Roadshow?
That's me. What you got?
I'd just like to say you're doing a very good job doing your live stream. I'd just like to say keep up the good work.
I appreciate it.
I love sports, so you're actually talking about something I really like. So, well, thank you, sir, for doing your show, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, we got a call. That was short but sweet. But anybody else wants to call in, we're on the air. I'm going to run it for a few more minutes. Anybody else got anything else they want to say? Is the game tied yet with Florida and Kentucky while I'm reading these comments? Right to Vape says they get to the NFL and they quit trying as hard as possible. I agree with that. Billy Cole says watch out for the Browns this year. Hey, I agree with you on that. You might be half joking because you joke around a lot, but I think the Browns are going to sniff the playoffs. They may not make it in there, but they're going to have a lot better season than they did last year. Matt Falk says, been a Vol fan since '93 and Saints fan just as long and love seeing Alvin Kamara in the offense. I tell you what, Alvin Kamara, what he did his rookie season ought to be enough. That's right there, regardless of wins and losses for Butch Jones. That right there should have been enough to get Butch Jones fired. Ryan Schrick says, end of the first, Florida on the 3. Come on, Florida. You ought to be able to punch that in. Youngstown State Gunner's giving us report Youngstown State's only down 14. They better not make that a ball game. That's going to make Tennessee look bad. Well, Billy Cole says he's not joking. Well, you're thinking the same way I am. I just think the Browns, I've got them getting a wild card at least. Who else is in their division? Let's see. Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Baltimore. I don't remember everybody in their division, but I just think the Browns could make it to the playoffs, and that'll make Delusional Paul really happy. He's not only is he a Ohio State fan, but he's a Browns fan. Y'all can go check him out. Update: Texas A&M just made a touchdown. What does that make the score, Rusty? I'm gonna try to look on my Bleacher Report and see if I can give an update. I see Miami's winning 41-0. There we go. Clemson, where did I pass it up? Clemson 14-3. So that means it's 14-10. Is that what you're saying? My Bleacher Report is behind the gun. False alarm. Update: no touchdown. Yeah, Matt Falk says, yeah, AK-41. I like that. Yeah, the Saints, I think they'll win their division. I really don't think there's anybody in their division that'll challenge them. I just don't watch the NFL. It's all college football for me. I just got enough emotion for one thing, and that's my Vols, and I'm never going to give up on them. A lot of people says, hey, you shouldn't be talking trash while your team sucks. Hey, look, that's what I'm supposed to do. That's what I'm going to keep doing, and I literally get paid for talking trash. I'm always going to do it, and I always think we have a chance. I don't care who we're playing. I mean, I don't think we have a real good chance against some of these, the Alabama and Georgias of the world, but, you know, this is college football. There's been a lot of upsets, and why can't Tennessee upset somebody? I don't know. Do you think Florida is a must-win for us, Gunner says? Absolutely. And I'm going to be at that game. And y'all stay tuned. I've got a couple of places where I'm going to be after the fishing trip Friday. I'm going to set up and do an on-location live show with Neil Clabo and possibly another Tennessee player somewhere in the Knoxville area on Friday early evening, and do a pregame and postgame on location. I'm trying to get it set up where we're going to watch the game somewhere. Got a few irons in the fire, so if anybody wants to watch the game with me, stay tuned to this channel, because I'm going to be announcing something in the next few days where y'all can come watch the game. And even Ryan, you're a delusional Gator fan, but bring the smart family members that you have, Ryan, that are Tennessee fans. Bring them and let's watch a game. I'll be announcing real soon where I'm going to be doing that at. So anybody coming in for the game or in the Knoxville area, be looking for an announcement where I'm going to be doing some live broadcasts on Friday and Saturday before and after the game. And I'd love to be able to meet some of you guys. I'm going to try to stop through Middle Tennessee and see Right to Vape. I've got to get him a tiki totem, and I'm going to hand deliver that. So Right to Vape, if you're still in here, stay in touch with me, buddy, and sometime during that weekend, either Thursday or Sunday, somewhere right through there, I'll be able to come through your neck of the woods and get you that tiki totem. Ole Miss played a basketball game. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Any more updates before I get out of here? Anybody want to call 855-489-7623? If not, I want to get on out of here. Let's see, Anonymous. Let me see what we got here. That was a troll. I got him dropped. That's all right. I'm not going to answer any more anonymous calls, but that was funny. It was side-splitting funny. Good job on the troll job. Appreciate it. anything else, be on the lookout. I'm going to go live on Tuesday. I think it's 6 o'clock. This Tuesday live show may change, but right now I have it set for 6 o'clock. And there's a possibility that I'm going to start going live on Facebook also and do a live show just like this one on Facebook. So if you haven't liked and followed Volunteer Roadshow on Facebook, y'all need to do that. So I may turn in my Tuesday call-in show on the Facebook. I've got to see how you do that. I know it can be done with this program I use. So sometime in the season, I may switch that to Facebook. And if I have a lot of people that are calling in, I may just add a day for Facebook. But I guess that's it. Tennessee had a great game. Played a weak opponent, but we showed a lot of improvement. We still got to get better on the offensive line and our defensive secondary. But other than that, we won the ball game. We took care of business, and we're going to continue to take care of business. And what else can I say? Thanks for tuning in. Go Vols. We're going to a bowl game. I promise you that.
You can sense the intensity as they await the arrival of the Tennessee team here at Leland Stadium. Undefeated Volunteers prepare to race onto the field. Everything is riding on this football game. So there's a special intensity, a special urgency. Here come the Volunteers. Wherever you listen throughout the world,